jumping right in.
Hello, everyone.
Topic of the day is mental mind frame.
What is mental minds?
Right. And what is your mental mind frame? Because it does change, depending on what's going on and what situations is going down.
True.
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 But is it possible for a mentally ill person to still make sane decisions? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it depends, to be honest.
Or is it because this person is mentally disabled that everything that this person does should be chopped up to their mental disability?
I was going to say that, too. I think sometimes it could become made a crutch for that mental person. Not so much as because they're mental. Like, they might have small issues, but at some point they can make sane, sound decisions. I just think sometimes with some mental issues, it's triggered.
Right.
It's triggered, and then the decisions that's made thereafter, it's like you really can't hold them accountable because it's like they weren't in their right mind.
Right.
In a sense, if you understand what I'm saying.
But were they in their right mind in the beginning when when the situation first happened, and was it a click?
Right.
Or is this person schizophrenic and, maybe the things that he think is going on is not, and, he just react, and there's no motive to the actions.
To the actions. It's just always a response.
Saying?
Like, what's going
on?
on?
Right. So, close home girl, close friend of mine, rest in peace. She grew up with a fairly nice sized family, and, she had brothers and sisters, and a few of them had some mental issues, and, I think it was due to, the upbringing, because we all kind of had a rough upbringing,
Okay.
So it was just different things that, they went through in life, which I can understand some of the issues, and why their mind frame is the way it is. But, her older brother, which is the oldest brother, but she's the oldest, but he's the oldest brother. And, pretty cool person, we all grew up together, but he was a few years under us.
Okay.
So as he grew up, cool person, but he started to show different mental, ailments
Signs.
that, might not have been right. Now, during this time, he did started dabbling into drugs and, started smoking sherm and stuff like that. And, it kind of took him out of his mind frame. But see, that's normal for a person that smokes sherm. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
You're going to find them out of their mind frame, but normally that's
Yes.
during the time that they're under the influence.
Influence. Right.
So, during, with him being under the influence and then coming out of it and then, smoking again, going back in it, it already, with an already mentally damaged mind, from his upbringing. So, different things have started to trigger these, these reactions now. Even if he's not smoking, something will happen. Maybe it's a smell or something, or, I don't know. But, he was later diagnosed schizophrenic.
Uh-huh.
So this started back years ago, when she had her first and second son. And so this was over 20 years. And, his first situation was with his father, who he lived with. And, when he would go off into these phases, he'll start talking about how he's God and how everybody else is demons, and and just his whole voice tone will change. Right?
Okay.
So the first episode, he actually choked his father out. Father's a pastor, but choked his father out, and he ended up going to a mental health center for 3 years. That first offense.
Okay.
So, moving forward, he get out, he's doing okay. He have some kids now, and he's doing all right, but he's still having these episodes.
Wow.
Every now and then.
Right.
So, I remember one particular day, my homegirl called me over and she was like, my bro's just tripped out, he pushed the kids all in the street, this and that. He called us demons and how he God and he gonna get us.
So he did it again.
Right. So he ended up, getting locked up again. Probably for like a year this time. So, okay, time went by. By this time, she really didn't have no closeness with him, but, he still came around every now and then, but,
okay.
he was living with his baby mom and, trying to stay afloat and keep his head right. But, this one particular day, he came to his sister's house, and at this time, his sister messing with this guy, and I think he was toxic for her. I don't think he was a good fit. Right. And he had just got out of prison from doing like 10 years. And she met him soon as he got out of prison. And this guy, he was kind of like manipulative, and she knew that he knew that her brother had, this mental illness. From what she's told him. So he already know that at any moment he could switch. So, her boyfriend, was dealing with this guy, this Hispanic guy, like around the corner. Same apartment complex, but, he was pretty much, to me, I thought he was trying to set up, a situation to make her brother have to fight.
Okay.
Because by this time, her brother was trying to, be in the gym, trying to learn how to box and this and that. So,
something positive, I think.
Right. So, he pretty much, the boyfriend pretty much got the Hispanic guy to come to my homegirl's house to trip with her brother. Now, mind you, he didn't even want to fight him. He kept telling the guy, listen, I'm not fighting you if it ain't no money involved, and, I'm just not with this shit. Level mind, everything.
Right, okay.
So then, the guy leave, and the boyfriend, he decides, well, fuck it. If he come back, then shit, he go to strap. Gave him the gun. Okay. So, you already know he's instigating this situation.
Pretty much.
So, he gets the guy to come back. And he's just taunting him. He's just taunting her brother and just taunting him. You weak, you ain't gonna do shit, this and that, you are nothing, I smash, whatever the situation,
whatever
what was said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To cause him to react. And I don't know what all took place as far as between him initially coming back, or if he tried to like make a swing at him or what took place, but I know the guy ended up getting shot. You know, he ended up dying. And my homegirl's brother, he only went to jail for like maybe a month or two and got out. He got right out because he was already known to have this mental condition.
And then not to mention probably all the investigation that went on. You get what I mean? They get to asking different questions of, you know, different people, and they was able to tell, like, okay, no, this man came over here doing this, that, or the other. This brother was over here just chilling. He was here before, and he still didn't do nothing, you know, and he came back. Right. So you got to think about, you know what I mean? They took all that in consideration, and then knowing that this person had a series of, you know, issues.
Right.
You know, mental issues. So, I mean, could you really blame him?
But is that being in a disabled mind frame? Because, see, normally in his disabled mind frame, he think that he's God and, you know, you're the demon. But in this particular case, he fully aware that, listen, you're trying to fight me and I don't want to fight you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel like in that particular mental, it's either me or this person.
It was not being mentally disabled. It was making a logical decision.
His mental wasn't, you get what I mean, had nothing to do or play with that one, where his mental was, at that point was, okay, either it's going to be me or this person, because this person's showing a threat to me, and I don't even know who this person is. Like, who are you?
Right.
You know, let me look you up. What's
you
going
all
on?
Up in, my sister kept, you know, trying to check me.
Right. Who are you? You know, and not to mention, he let it slide the first initial time.
Right.
You get what I mean? So you coming back, and I'm still trying to figure out where your mindset is.
Exactly.
His mindset was, at this point, it's either me or you. And that was a logical decision due to, okay, he wasn't proclaiming he was God or anything of that. It was just like, okay, if I don't do something about this, he's probably going to hurt me.
Right. Or how long is this, how far is it going to go?
It's going to go. So
without me responding.
Right. But his mental issues is, to me, what also helped his situation in a sense, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they probably was thinking, like, it could have been worse. He probably could have just choked you. He probably could have beat the fuck out of you. You get what I mean? He just shot you.
Well, I think regardless of his mental health, it should have been, you know, kind of clarify as self-defense anyway. True. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
because if a person comes into your home and they cross over your threshold, you know,
you have a right to defend.
Right, whether they have a weapon or not. And a lot of people don't know that.
You have a right to defend.
Right, because if you kick in my door, you don't have to have a gun. I can shoot you though, because you kicked in my door. I don't know what harm you're gonna do to me. And I don't have the time to find out. I don't have time to find out if you have a weapon. I don't have time to find out if you're going to do something to me, or if you're going to grab a knife out my kitchen and stab me. Right. Are you going to take my gun and shoot me with it?
It ain't that you ain't got the time. I'm not trying to find out. We going to get this situation taken care of before it goes any further.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people need to understand that too. When you go to people's house and you trying to trip with them, and you actually come through their door tripping, you don't have to have a weapon for them to do something to you. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Now, if you know